I just started growing a plant just on a desk in a living room. I buy them, even if it's very expensive. I propagate them and I sell them. For the first time, lots of people ask me, you grow wheat in your garage? Tissue culture means making a whole plant from a tissue. I realized that through business, we can earn more money and less time work. I just need to work around 10 hours a week, so I don't need to hire anyone.
Hi Jay, can you just briefly introduce who you are and what you do?
My name is Jay, and I have a rare plant online store in New Zealand. I propagate plants and I sell my plants online. I've been growing a rare plant for about 3 years, and I opened my online store about 7 months ago.
7 months ago?
Yeah.
And how's business been? Quite good?
It's very good.
This is your garage here. How did this all work? How did you set this up?
To be honest, the setup was not as nice as this. I just started growing a plant just on a desk in a living room. As time went by, I got lots of new plants. It has become like this.
And how many plants do you have roughly?
I think over 1,000 pots here, 80 species.
80 species?
Yeah.
You said 80 different species.
Yeah.
Which one is the most kind of expensive?
Most expensive one. I think at the moment, this one is the one of the most expensive one. This one is around $1,000. Yeah, I try to find new rare plants as early as possible. I buy them, even if it's very expensive. I propagate them and I sell them. This is my business.
So how do you find the plants?
I spend lots of time search for them on TradeMe or Facebook Market. There is a big rare plant online community on Facebook.
What do you kind of look for when you're buying a plant?
In my case, I love variegated plants. This is Philodendron glorious and variegated. Normal one is just completely green.
Oh, okay, so usually completely green.
You know, the albino syndrome, it doesn't have the green color on the leaves. It happens very rarely, even in the nature. That's why it's very expensive. But as far as I heard, nowadays people make variegated plants with some chemicals, but it is still very expensive.
Is it quite expensive, all this equipment?
Yeah, this setup is pretty expensive. But luckily, I got all of them for just $1,000. Someone sold that one on the Facebook Market. But if people get new one, I think this setup would be about $4,000.
Wow.
The small one is around $1,800.
And did you set this up by yourself?
Oh, yeah, I did.
How did you learn this? Did you just go by the manual and just...
Just YouTube.
Just YouTube?
Yeah, I watched lots of videos on YouTube. Can you see this one? This is called aerial root. If I can see that, I can cut it and then put it in the water for 2 to 3 weeks. Then it becomes one new plant.
A new plant grows from...
And then I can sell them. It's pretty easy. I will just show you how to cut it and then how to propagate it. Swap the knife with the apple pad. And then just put it in the water. 2 to 3 weeks later, it becomes like this. And then once you can see some secondary roots, you can cut them.
Cut them up and sell them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very easy.
How much are you making per year?
About $2,000 weekly, just around 100K annually. I just spend about 10 hours a week and then I earn that money. I cut them, I water them, taking photos and unloading and then packaging to send them out. It takes just about 10 hours and then I earn about $2,000 weekly.
Okay. So what's your biggest expense, would you say, with the plant business?
Plants.
How about the electricity and...
It doesn't cost very much. In winter, I just turn on heater for the plant to keep the best temperature. At the time, I spent about $600 monthly, but normally the power bill is just about $200 to $300 monthly.
Are you renting this place or do
No, I bought this house.
So you own this house now? Okay, so rent's not an issue. And in terms of profit margin, what's it like with plants?
Yeah, to be honest, it has very big margin, 80% to 90% margin. Few dollars for the pot, soil, and shipping. Yeah, the shipping is the most expensive.
What do those neighbors think when, you know, you have all these lights coming in through the garage?
For the first time, lots of people asked me, "Oh, you grow wheat in your garage?" I said no, and I had to show this environment to them.
Initially, when you kind of decided that you want to get into plants, did you already have the money to go out and buy that first plant?
I came to New Zealand about 5 years ago with just $5,000, and my wife. After that, I spent $4,000 for a car. So we just had $1,000. We didn't have a lot of money at the time. Yeah, we did our best to make some small money. We wanted to improve ourselves, and then we didn't want to stay where we were.
When you mean by improve, you mean more money or better lifestyle?
Better lifestyle, more time and more money. While having a full-time job, I started to grow plants. But for the first time, I was not that interested in plants. But one day I watched a YouTube video that someone had this kind of business at home. So I started to copy that. Yeah, it becomes like this.
Wow.
Oh, what's this? What is that?
I practiced tissue culture at home. Tissue culture means making a whole plant from a tissue. Even a piece of a leaf can be a whole plant with some hormones. So there is a small plant in the belly container.
And so that's just from a piece of that leaf, you modify it.
Some tissue, like growth point. And then it was very tiny like that. It becomes like that. And then after that, we can see some, over like 20, 30 plants in this small deli container. This is a new way to clone plants nowadays.
And what's the benefit of doing this?
Much faster than cutting.
Okay, so how long would this take then? How much time would you save compared to cutting?
I can get around one new leaf from a cutting from each plant. But in this case, it takes pretty long time for the first time. But as time goes by, it produces a lot of plants. It's like a snowball. It becomes one plant, and then 2 plants, 4 plants, 8 plants, like over
exponential growth. And what are we doing now, Jay?
Let's go to pack the plant for this week.
Okay, let's do it. And these are all the invoices here for the upcoming orders?
Yeah, for this week.
This week only?
I just send plants every Monday. I pack the plants on Sunday only. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to pack them safely. It's the hardest job among all of my jobs.
Packing is the hardest part. Obviously born in Korea, and then you did your military service.
Oh yeah.
So then from there, what happened? What led you to kind of leave Korea and go abroad?
When I was in high school, I joined the lifeguard license course. One of the people I met there recommended Australian working holiday. It became my dream, and I started to think to go abroad after the military service. And then I went to Australia and stayed there about 4 years. I met my wife there, and we moved to New Zealand about 5 years ago.
And when did that idea of wanting to start a business, like, has it always been a dream for you?
After coming to New Zealand, my wife started her business firstly. I could see how much she earned. Even though I spent much more time than her to work, I realized that through business, we can earn more money and less time work.
Okay, so she started her business and then you were still working full time?
Yeah, I was a butcher for 7 years.
Okay.
I wanted to keep my full-time job while growing my business. So I kept my full-time job, and I just bought one leaf of the plant, and I started growing them on the table.
So why plants in particular?
I wanted to have a home business, and then I wanted to have some flexible time, and then I didn't really want to have local business because the number of customers are very limited, like butcher shop or supermarket, restaurant.
So you didn't want to set up a cafe or something like that?
Very limited number of customers, only local people. I thought online store would be a very good business. Yeah, I could do that at home, and I can get some clients in South Island, in rural area.
When you bought that first plant.
Yeah.
Were you a bit nervous?
I was nervous because at the time I didn't make a lot of income from a planting business. When I wanted to buy some few $100 plant, I felt guilty to my wife sometimes. Every time I asked her personally because it was quite expensive for us at the time. We were not really fine financially, but nowadays it's not a burden.
When you bought that plant, did you have any idea that it would grow to this size, the business?
No.
Not at all?
I thought I would be able to make like few $100 weekly. For the first time, I didn't expect this much size. I didn't have many plants, and then I tried selling my plants on TradeMe and Facebook Market, but it was not as popular as now. Yeah, because I didn't have any trust. I was not trusted by others.
Okay.
So even if others' plants were more expensive, lots of people chose their plant instead of my plant. But nowadays, I have my own platform and I am quite trusted in the industry.
When did you realize that you could quit your job as a butcher and go into this full time?
We got a baby. And then our parents, our family members are not in New Zealand. So we thought it would be very hard to keep the jobs.
Like keep working and looking after
looking after plant, looking after a baby. So if I kept the future job, she would never be able to focus on her business. Before she gave a birth, just around 2 to 3 months before the time I opened my online store. Luckily, it was pretty going well from the first time. I became confident like a few days before giving a birth. I just left my full-time job.
What's been the hardest part of running the business?
Everything was pretty easy. I just spent around 10 hours a week for the business. So after she finished working, she could look after the baby. During the time, I could look after the plants, and I could tag and I could send out. The hardest one was looking after the baby.
That's the hardest part of the job. What would you say is the disadvantage of the job?
Knowing the trend, reading the trend is really important.
Yep.
Otherwise, I may spend a lot of money and then it may be overstocked.
And how do you go about checking the trends?
Watch YouTube, Facebook pages, and then if some news pieces that was very popular in other countries, even if I have to spend big money, I buy that. I recently built a greenhouse here. I'm still testing how my plant grows here. I'm still testing, like the sunlight is pretty strong or not. So I just moved very cheap plant. Very low variegation. If it is going well, I will move some highly variegated plants here to save my space in the garage.
How do you know that it's set at the correct temperature and sunlight and everything like that? Is it mainly the color?
I have thermometer here, so I can check the temperature on the phone. It connects to Wi-Fi, so I can check the temperature, humidity, wherever I am.
What is your plan with soul plants from here?
I want to move to another house, which has a very big land, and I want to make a huge greenhouse there. It's my dream. After that, I want to buy so many new plants and I want to make the business much bigger. My goal is within 5 years, I want to make that.
Do you have a figure you want to reach in terms of, say, revenue? Like how much you want to make?
At least 5 times within 5 years.
5 times what you're making now?
Yeah, which is around 500K. I believe I could do that.
What's going to keep you motivated for the next 5 years and after that?
It is very fun to make my business bigger. Each time when I reach the next goal, it makes me want to do more to reach the next goal. It is fun. It is like a game for me.
A game?
Yeah.
Do you plan to hire employees eventually?
Oh, yes, someday. At the moment, I just need to work around 10 hours a week. So I don't need to hire anyone. But if the business is getting bigger and bigger, I'm very sure that I need to hire somebody in the future.
Do you want to, say, retire early? Or do you want to continue in this business all the way?
I don't want to retire. My wife asked me, what would you do if you win lotto? this week. And then I said, oh, I want to buy a huge land and I want to make a big greenhouse and then I want to buy lots of new plants.
Did people close to you, whether it be, say, your parents or your close friends, were they ever worried for you when you decided to go full-time with this business? Or were they very supportive?
For the first time, some of my friends said that, oh, Jay, you are crazy. The plant is too expensive. Why you bought that? Well, now they ask me that, oh, what plant is good to make money?
Do you believe that anyone can become a small business owner?
Yeah, of course. There are so many chances to open a small business. I just want to say that just keep doing what you like. That's gonna be your business.
Why did you decide to film with us?
I wanted to be famous. Being famous brings lots of opportunities, I think. Recently, I was on another video on another YouTube channel, and then over 140k views, and then it brought a lot of new customers.
New clients, yeah.
Yeah, and then a lot of people ask me for a seminar or a YouTube channel or something like that. So before being on the video, I never thought about that way, but that one made me to think about other way to make this business bigger and bigger. So if there is a chance, I want to be more and more famous, and then I want to make another chances to grow my business bigger.
Would you consider starting your own YouTube channel?
Maybe. Yeah. Or I want to write some online book, how to start real plant business, or how to grow plant properly, or how to make money. Yeah.